Hello, Aquarius. I am an Aquarius rising, so I always very much appreciate this reading. And Aquarius, this is a good one. So I'm very excited to get into this for you. We have a lot of cards that I pulled for the month of July, lots of information to give you. Let's get into it. Okay, so Aquarius, as I said, I pulled a whole bunch of cards. However, the message definitely feels quite clear, and I'm excited to deliver it to you. So the first card, I'm going to start, I kind of pulled a bunch of cards here at the top, but I pulled one card in particular where then I got a little bit more information on that particular card. Okay, so I pulled the Sun reversed, which sometimes when I pull cards, I pretty much know immediately what is trying to be said or how to interpret that card in that particular reading. In this case, I was like, I'm not really sure what's the message here, right? So the Sun reversed. And then I pulled a couple other cards with it. So I pulled the Sun of Pentacles reversed. And then I pulled the Seven of Cups reversed. And the Seven of Cups reversed really gave me the information that I was looking for. So what this is saying, and I love this, right? So the Sun reversed, Aquarius, is actually urging you to, so if you think about the sun, right? And if you, and in this particular imagery, we have the sun in the desert, right? So there's not a lot of trees. There's not a lot of shade. So the sun has such a big range, right? That it is shining its light on. And that we know the sun has a ton of energy, right? The sun powers our world, right? It powers our life. It is our life force. The Sun reversed, Aquarius, is saying you need to focus more on the shadow spaces, right? So you need to not be so worried about casting your net so wide or really spreading your energy so far. You need to actually get more selective in where your energy is going. And again, focus in the areas where you can find shade. And it's really hard, right, for you to get clear on what you should focus on when you're so spread thin, right? The Seven of Cups speaks to that as well. Seven of Cups is the card of feeling like a pinball, right? Boing, 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 boing. Your thoughts are just going here, then here, then here. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I be worried about this? Should I try this? What about this? Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. I need to text this person, right? That is not helpful energy. It's just really not, right? And even though sometimes that kind of high energy can help us accomplish things quickly, it's not an intentional energy. It is, the Seven of Cups is very much a card of overwhelm and confusion. And what it is saying is if you have too many things that you're trying to think about, worry about, wonder about, solve, address, it's just going to lead to confusion. It's just going to lead to blurriness. If you look at this card, it is literally, see how it's kind of like overlapping, it's blurry, it's mimicking feeling drunk, right? So we're going to go more into this with the reading, but what this actually looks like for me personally right now, Aquarius, is I have gotten off of social media platforms. I haven't completely, and I understand YouTube, some people will debate YouTube is a social media platform, but for me, that meant getting rid of the major apps on my phone and taking a break, right? Why? Because this Sun reversed card, I was too invested in everything that was happening around me, right? My energy was being spread everywhere. And maybe you have good energetic boundaries, and when you get on social media, you're not comparing yourself or wondering what this person is doing or checking in on this person, but that's not me, right? And I'm kind of assuming if you're hearing this reading, it's also not you. You have to be really, really aware. I've also had to silence some of my text notifications. So certain people, I don't get immediate text, I don't get notifications from them, because I can find that it distracts me. I've been more mindful of who I'm picking up the phone for and really asking myself, can I manage to have this conversation right now and kind of have my focus pulled somewhere else? So that's what we're talking about here, right? We have this 10 of Wands reversed. And this look at it. It's a bunch of matches burnt out and a piece of paper with a big burnt hole in the middle. This is like you cannot afford, basically what this card is saying is you cannot afford to keep burning the candle at both ends, right? You've ran out of spoons, if you've heard that saying before. You have ran out of capacity. I have a friend that used to talk about, right, just like a credit card eventually will get maxed out. Your energy, you can put things on a credit card, right? Meaning you can kind of live your life where you're using energy credit. You're like, okay, well, I'll make up for this later. I have a day off next week. I'll make up for it. And then that day next week comes and you're still not making up for it. And you can only do that for so long until you run out of credit, right? And so I'm wondering if that's kind of where you're at, Aquarius, is where you're like past that time. And so again, I think what July is asking you to do is to really simplify, and maybe have actual conversations of what does that look like? Does that mean getting rid of some apps? Does that mean getting rid of some social obligations? Does that mean, I teach cycling and I've had to scale back on how many classes I'm teaching, right? Again, I had to be aware that it takes a lot of my energy. I want to be clear. It doesn't mean I don't like it. I actually love teaching cycling so much. And if my energy could handle it, I would teach it every single day. I love it so much, but I have to be honest about what it takes out of me. Again, that doesn't mean that you don't like something. It just means that you're being honest about what it takes from you. And you have to be honest about also, do you need that energy for other parts of your life right now? And I do, right? So that's what I had to do. And that also doesn't mean that I can't adjust that later, but I have to make some changes now. It's interesting. You have this Daughter of Pentacles come up, and then this Three of Pentacles, and then this Eight of Pentacles. And what this is saying to me is you're having some fresh inspiration and some new ideas and some new things that you want to start doing, and you're excited about it. But you have to give that the attention that it needs, right? So, and the care that it needs. Another personal analogy. I know I'm giving you a lot of personal analogies today, but like I tried to plant some flowers last year and I didn't put any attention into them. I didn't water them. I just didn't do anything that you were supposed to do, right? Well, guess what? They died. This year, I planted wildflowers and I've been making sure that I'm prioritizing time every day to water them and they're generally simple plants, right? But you still have to give them care, especially at the beginning. And so that's what you have to ask yourself is what am I excited about, but do I need to make sure that I'm giving it care or it's not going to see itself through? This Three of Pentacles reverse, what I think this is saying is you have to kind of get quiet. And this is not a group effort, right? What you're doing right now is not a group effort. It is something that you have to do. You don't need outside opinions. You don't need outside influences. You don't need to compare. You just need to, I think you actually know what you need to do, Aquarius, for this thing. It's just a matter of how are you going to ensure that you do it. That's that Eight of Pentacles, right? Eight of Pentacles, we have a bee here. Bees know what to do. They just do their thing, right? They do it and they do it faithfully. And what they do, right, is so magical, but it's actually not magical, right? It's just like it's so amazing and fascinating to us as humans, but it's just what they do, right? So how do you get into a space where you're just following a routine and you're just doing what you do? And then results happen because of that. That's what I think you need to figure out in July, Aquarius, is what is this routine that I need? What is this system that I need to build? You have the Wheel of Fortune, which I absolutely love. And then you have the Mother of Wands reverse, which is really interesting. I'm going to pull actually one more card for this. Yeah, Five of Wands. So ooh, this is interesting, Aquarius. You know what? This is kind of throwing me through a loop a little bit. Okay, yeah. So I think comparison will destroy you, Aquarius. Expectations and not trusting the process is what will cause you to fail. That's the message there, Aquarius. Expectations and expecting results more quickly, right? And not being patient and not trusting the process is what will cause you to fail. But if you turn off the distractions, right? Because if you're not comparing yourself to other people's processes and what other people are doing, you're not going to feel like, well, is this not happening quick enough? Am I not doing well enough? No, because if you just say, this is what I'm doing, especially in the month of July, you have 30 days, right? Get into a habit, a good habit. And so then when August comes and September comes and October comes, you're already in the habit, right? But you've got to get into the routine and just trust the routine. But if you're looking at everybody else and how it's working for everybody else, then you're going to question. You're going to question your plan, where really you just need to do your freaking plan, right? And I'll say, you have the Wheel of Fortune here upright, which to me is indicating the stars are aligned. This can work. This is where, when we talk about manifestation and we say, you have to participate in manifestation, this is what they're talking about, right? I think the conditions are good for you, Aquarius, and the stars are aligned. But if you don't follow through with the plan, then there's not a whole lot the universe can do for you. You have to actually continue out the plan, okay? All right, so a couple quick, I say that we have 4 little categories here of an overall theme for July. We have money, relationships, and career. Let me show you what we have. So the overall theme for July, you have awakening reversed and ace of water reversed. What this is saying to me is, especially this awakening reversed, it's awakening. This card in particular, it says pause, perspective, and selflessness. I want you to think about pause and perspective. So essentially, if you jump the gun, or if you, again, don't let if you have emotional reactions, right? So Ace of Cups reversed. If you have an emotional reaction to something and you don't let it play out and you don't give it the proper space and grace that it needs to play out, that's what's going to screw things up, right? So jumping the gun or having a reaction of why things aren't working, when things feel like they're not working quick enough, you please, in the month of July, remind yourself, yeah, I just have to keep going, right? I'm still in the process. That's what's going on here, right? Whew, it's tough, but things always take about 10 times longer than you think they will. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. That is the truth. And if you can accept that, then I think that's when things start to happen exponentially. Things, once the momentum builds, right? It's like a snowball. Once it starts to build, then it builds really quickly, a snowball down a hill, right? Then it starts to build momentum really quickly. But it's that beginning stage, right? That's tough. So you got to hang in there until the momentum builds. And then those results can come really quickly. But a couple things that I think are going to make you feel good. For money, we have the Sun upright. So we have, and I think this is really like, if you stay in your own lane and you tend to the areas of your life that you know you need to tend to and stay out of the things that are none of your business, right? We have success, recognition, and enthusiasm. I'm just taking this as a good sign. I'm not overcomplicating it. But again, I think this is Focus on what you know intuitively, Aquarius, you need to focus on, okay? Relationships, 8 of Earth and 7 of Air reversed. I'm hearing this as give people grace. People are not perfect. You have made mistakes and so have they. They have disappointed you and you have disappointed them, okay? So it's time to grow up a little bit. That's that 8 of Earth. It's time to grow up a little bit and take things to the next level of realizing that nobody's perfect. You aren't and neither are they. And how do you build a new foundation with this person from where you're at today, right? And then career, love this for you as well. 9 of Earth. This is such a good card. This is that sigh of relief, breath of fresh air. It's contentment, luxury, and independence. It is feeling really, really good and confident about where you are, how you have gotten here. Your hard work has paid off. Again, I think that things are going to start building for you in July, but I would not be surprised, Aquarius, if you see some big wins in your professional life in July, right? And it can happen quite quickly. But again, how do you get there? You hang in there, right? And you know that momentum, once it hits, it can build really quickly, but you got to hang in there until it does, right? All right, Aquarius, I could talk to you all day long. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Please comment below what resonated with you, and I'll see you next month.